Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this HMCTS webinar on the Financial Remedy Contested Service. My name is Kim and I'll be guiding us through this session, asking questions and looking out for your comments. Just to let you know that this webinar is being recorded and will be available after the session. I'd like to introduce your panel this afternoon. We have Isabel Syred, who is the Service Manager for the Divorce and Financial Remedy Service. And we also have Jessica Newton, who is the Deputy Service Manager for Financial Remedy. And we also have Mark Saliki, who is our Jurisdictional Support Manager. I'm going to hand over to Isabel now, who's going to introduce the session for you. Next slide, please.
Hello everyone. I nearly said morning then, but I realise it is 12:30. I don't know where the time goes. So I'm Izzy Syred. I'm the service manager for both divorce and financial remedy. And then we've got Jessica Newton, who's my deputy for financial remedy, and also Mark Salicki as well, who also works on the financial remedy team. So the Financial Remedy Service, we went live a couple of years ago. We started off as a pilot in one of the financial remedy courts, and we sort of set up the digital product for FR Contested following the setting up of the FR Consent Order Service, which is now mandated. That was mandated in September 2021. And we now have the FR Contested Service, which is working now across the 18 financial remedy courts across the country. We now have an end-to-end digital service, and our digital uptake is roughly around 80% in terms of digital submission. And we've now in the process of continuing to make enhancements and changes based on feedback that we have from all users, both judiciary, staff, and obviously all stakeholders. We go to the next slide. We've recently made some significant improvements around how to change representation on a case, which we'll touch on in one of the videos shortly. We've also how to share a case, so a solicitor can share with a colleague in their organisation. We've also improved how we handle documentation, so hearing bundle tab, creation of a FDR tab as well, financial dispute review tab. We've also included additional case types like maintenance pending suit, judicial separation and nullity, and hope these changes make it a more fuller end-to-end service. So the next slide, please. So what's coming up shortly is we're looking to introduce barristers to the service. So we'll be providing access to barristers, and we hope to do that in the first week in November. And we're also going to extend the service so that you can apply to a variation order. So make an application to vary an order. And that will hopefully be coming over the next few weeks as well. And then we've also got Schedule 1 applications. So we're going to include Schedule 1 case type in those type of applications. So hopefully what we're working towards is mandation of the FR service towards the end of January. So end of January next year. Moving on to the next slide then. What we're going to show now, and if I hand over to Jess is going to introduce the next video. So thank you.
Hi everybody. So we've prepared a few videos on the FR Contested Service just to show you the latest updates and the way that the whole system works. We've got 3 videos. The first one will be regarding submitting an application on the FR Contested Service, and then we'll go into the detail following that of document handling, so how you manage the bundles and the general application process. And then the third one will be how to upload the consent order within the contested FR service. So first we'll stop after each video just for 5 minutes of questions regarding what you've seen, and we'll pick up on anything that we need to clarify. But yeah, we'll start off with the submitting an application on the FR Contested Service. Thank you.
create a new application, select Create Case, select the relevant jurisdiction from the drop-down list, which would be family divorce. Select the case type as contested financial remedy, and the event will be auto-filled for you there as Form A application. Click Start to commence the application. You'll be presented with the scope page there, so have a thorough read of that. That gives directions on what's covered under that application and what requirements are required before you can make that application. So have a read of that. If you're happy with the content of that, click Continue. You can then start by entering the applicant solicitor's details. So enter the solicitor's name, and then add the solicitor organization. So the solicitor organization has to be added by searching for the organization on the list there. If the solicitor is not selected or added from the list, the solicitor will not be able to access the case on the portal. So it's very important that this part of the process is not skipped. You can add the solicitor by either searching for the solicitor name or by searching by postcode. It is easier to search by postcode because it only brings up the solicitor organizations within that postcode. If you search by solicitor name, it brings up a larger search result because it looks for any solicitor name, any solicitor with a similar name. So as I said before, it's much easier to search by postcode. It only brings up the solicitors within that postcode area. So once you found your organization on the list, on the right hand side there, click on select to add the organization to the case. If you only have one result that comes up, you still have to select, click select to actively add that organization to the portal. So you'd click on that, and that solicitor will be added to that case, and then complete the rest of the information underneath there. Solicitor's details and references. There's a separate tab there about solicitor's contact details. Again, if this information matches exactly what's already been uploaded up there, still put that information in. If this information differs, where an organization might have multiple offices, the main or head office might be registered with MyHMCTS, which will be shown there. If you're working from a local office, which is different from the office that's registered, you can input that address there. So there's a correct address there for service. Enter your phone number there and the email address. Take extra care to make sure that the email address entered is correct and there's no spelling errors, as all notifications from the portal will be sent to you by email to the email address you provide. So if the email address provided is incorrect, you won't receive those notifications. And then there's a question there asking if you consent to receive emails from the court, so select yes to that. If you select no, notifications will not be sent by email. Click continue to go to the next page. You can enter the divorce or dissolution details. So the portal now accepts divorce, dissolution, so nullity, judicial separation case numbers are all accepted. You can also use either the 10-digit alphanumeric case number or 16-digit CCD case number. So all those options are now accommodated for on the portal. Enter your case number. You'll be asked whether the FR case relates to a dissolution of a civil partnership. Again, select yes or no to that question. If you select yes, the order output will be updated to reflect the Civil Partnership Act and not the Matrimonial Clauses Act. So just make sure you take the right option there. Enter the date of marriage or civil partnership. The date of separation is optional, and then enter the date the application was issued. The name of the court where the divorce application was issued, and at what stage the application is reached. So if we click on the drop-down list, there's three options there: application issued, final order, or decree nisi. So select the relevant option from the list there, take into account the new naming list, naming convention, which is for under the new divorce law. So we now have the petition referred to as application, the decree nisi is now called a conditional order, and the decree absolute is a final order. So if we select application issued, you can then upload a copy of that application as evidence. The same thing if you selected conditional order or final order, you have to upload a copy of that order to the portal. Enter the parties' names. You'll be asked if the respondent is represented or not. So if they are not represented, you select no. You can enter their address for service there. If they are represented, select yes, and you can add the solicitor to the case. Again, making sure that you select the solicitor from the organization list, do the search, click select to add the solicitor to the case, enter the reference if you have one, solicitor name, and then the solicitor firm. And again, as we said with the applicant solicitor, you have to add the address in there twice, just in case this does differ from the office that's been registered. So select the relevant address there and enter the email address. Again, making sure that there's no spelling or typing errors within that email address. Once you're happy with that, click continue and select the nature of application. You'll then be asked whether the application is suitable to be dealt with under the fast track. So select yes or no. If you select yes, you can then select which of those options apply. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You'll be asked whether the application should be allocated to the complexity list. Again, select the relevant answers to you there, yes or no, or if you're not sure, say you don't know. And then the estimate of the assets in the case. So select the relevant option there. And then the net value of the home. So put again the amount in there. You then be asked whether there are any potential allegations or issues which may arise in the case. So there's a list of options to select from there. If you're not sure, you can select not applicable. Otherwise, select one of those options listed on that list. You can then choose the financial remedy to which you wish to make the application. So what's your nearest court? And then there's more information there required just in terms of attending the hearing. Is there any special measures required in a case? Any special facilities that are required for either parties? You can put that information in there. And also, if there's any reason why the hearing should not take place at a specific court, you can then, there's an opportunity for you to enter those reasons there. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You then be asked to enter the MyHM information. So if you've attended MyHM, you'd select yes. Continue and can enter your MyHM information there. If you haven't attended MyHM, you'd select no. You'd be asked if the applicant's claiming exemption. If you select no and try to continue, you won't be able to continue. So if you select yes, you then be asked another question asking whether the applicant, family mediator has informed the applicant that a mediator's exemption applies. So yes or no to that question, and then you can continue. So if we go back and say yes, again, you'd enter your details in there. You then be asked if you have any other documents you wish to upload to the portal. So if you select yes, we can then select add new to upload any other documents. So choose file. Select the document type. So if you're uploading an allocation questionnaire, and statement in support of MPS. If you wish to make a maintenance spending suit application, you also need to upload a D11 together with the application. So as well as uploading a statement in support, you'd also upload a D11 just to show that you do intend to apply to proceed with applying for a maintenance spending suit. Click continue. You'll be shown your FRC information there. If you wish to contact the FRC, click continue, and then all your answers will be played back to you. So at that point, you can review your answers, make sure you've entered all the correct information. If you're happy with all the information that's been entered there, click submit, and the application will be submitted.
There are any questions, please post them on the links. At the moment we've not got any questions, but just might be good just to cover off a couple of things. Obviously, when you generate your FR contested application, you'll see that there's a 16-digit reference number. This is the reference number that you should use for the case. I know there's been some confusion with users about the 16-digit reference number, because you get one for your divorce application, which is a separate system to the FR contested service, and you get a separate number as well for your financial remedy consent application, which again is a separate service. So it's just remembering that case number, that 16-digit number, is the number that you should use in future. We've also touched on when their application is submitted, it will go to the one of the 18 financial remedy courts as well, and they will check it and then issue it. Guidance on MyHMCTS, we've got guidance on there which explains how to issue an application, an FR application, and also got a link to the inbox, the financial remedy inbox, should you have a query or a difficulty, or if you get any errors or anything. And we also have the list of the financial remedy centres as well, and their email addresses. I'll just pause for a minute because I think we're getting a few questions through, so I'll let Kim come in.
Yeah, so thanks for the questions. We have been asked if the videos will be available online. I do believe they're on YouTube, but Jess, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, these ones may not be uploaded to YouTube yet, but we will be making them public on there. There's an older version that doesn't have the updates, so we will be getting all of the new ones that we've done for these sessions uploaded for everybody to access. And there's also the written guidance as well already on the solicitors page. I think, Kim, were you going to share that with everybody in the chat anyway? So there's going to be some links in the chat to the existing guidance for solicitors that goes through step by step without you having to watch the video. It's all documented.
We do have another question on how long courts are taking to deal with financial remedy applications, but I wonder if we might want to cover that towards the end as part of the general Q&A. Let's see, other than that, we do have a question from LGFL support. What happens if the other side do not come up in the search box?
So if the other side doesn't come up in the search box, the likelihood is they aren't registered with MyHMCTS. So you can proceed with them as a non-digital solicitor, which is what we call them. So you can still add the information in, but you won't be able to select them from the list. That means that they won't be able to access the case online. So you can still proceed with them as a non-digital party. But if later on they do sign up to MyHMCTS, or if a different solicitor comes on board, we are able to amend that case and have the solicitor change to a digital solicitor, so they are then able to access the case online. But initially, when you're creating the case, if the solicitor don't come up on the list, it means they probably aren't registered, but you can proceed without adding them. They just won't be able to access the case.
Thank you, Mark. We've had another question from I can't see the person's name, but can the application be saved as a draft for review before submission?
Yes, so I think what you can see there in that presentation was the application is actually in drafted state. So although it's complete, it's still in drafted state until you've paid for the application, then it moves into submitted. So once you finalize the application, it will initially state in that application drafted. So if you need to make any further amendments to that application, you can go back to it and make those changes.
Brilliant, thank you. I think we'll just do one more before we move on to the next video, and we'll pick up some of the rest of the questions at the end. How do you choose what the applicant's local court is? I think the person is finding that Court Finder does not give the same options as on the portal. So do we have any advice there, please?
Court Finder should be providing the same details. I mean, if it's not providing the same details, we can look into that. But it should be the Court Finder now has the option for financial remedy courts, which it didn't used to have previously. So that information should be on there for you to find those courts.
Yeah, thank you. I think just mindful of time in the videos with the other two videos, if we maybe move on to the next one, and then we'll pick up some more questions from this section at the end.
When a solicitor is added to a case, the case will be referred to the case access manager, who will then assign that case to the respective fee earner. Once the case has been assigned to the fee earner, that case will appear in the case list as displayed here. You can access the case by clicking on the hyperlink on the case reference detail there, and that will open up in a new tab. If you wish to share the case with anyone else within your organization, you can do so by clicking on the left-hand side and selecting Share Case. Type in the name of the individual within the organization you wish to add to share the case with, select Add and Continue, and that case will be shared within the organization. If you receive notification of a case that you are instructed on but are not able to access the case because you have not been added correctly, you are able to onboard yourself to the case using notice of change. So you can add yourself to the case. You'll be able to view the case that way. To do this, select notice of change in the top left-hand side corner. Enter the 16-digit reference number. Make sure that the 16-digit reference number is for the financial remedy proceedings and not the divorce proceedings. Enter the case number, select continue. You then be asked some questions there. So you have to enter the divorce dissolution case reference number. So this can be either the 10-digit alphanumeric case number, or if it's a new divorce case, then this will be the 16-digit divorce case number. So enter the case number in there. And then enter the client's name. So enter the first name and last name. Make sure that the spelling is correct. If there's any spelling errors, or the name doesn't match what's held on the court record, you will receive a notification like that, just highlighting that the details don't match what's on the case. So make sure that it's typed in correctly. Select continue. Once your details have been accepted, it will replay that information back to you, then be asked to sign whether you're satisfied with the information that's been provided, and also that the notice of change has been served on all parties. Tick both boxes and click submit. Once you've done that, you will receive a notification saying that the notice of change has been successful. Once the notice of change has been accepted, you'll be able to access the case instantly. So at the bottom there's an option to view the case, or if you wish to return back to your case list, you can do so. But if you wish to start working on the case, you can click on that option there. And that will take you into the case. You'll be able to view the case documents in there. So you can see the case documents and any other orders on the case, you can view them there. Once you're in that case, you'll be able to upload any documents to the case. So if you wish to upload your documents, you would select on the next steps drop down, select upload case files, click on that. select Add New Documents to commence uploading your documents. Select Choose File. This will take you into your folder, your documents. Select the relevant documents from your device that you wish to upload. Select the specific document type. If the document type you're uploading is not listed on the list there, select Other, and then type in the specific document type. Otherwise, select the options from the list displayed there. Enter the hearing date that those documents relate to. If the documents contains any confidential information or address that should not be disclosed to the other party, select yes to that question there. But if the documents are okay to be shared with the other party, select no. If the documents still contain confidential information and you select yes, when you come to share the documents, if they are confidential, you won't be able to share them with the other side. All documents uploaded are not instantly viewable by the other party. So if you have not exchanged documents, you can still upload them to the portal. And then once those documents have been exchanged, you'll then be able to share them with the other side, which we'll go through very shortly. You then also asked if the documents related to any financial dispute resolution hearings. Yes or no. Again, if you select yes, they'll be stored in the financial dispute resolution documents tab. If you select no, you then have the option to say whether documents should be uploaded into the applicant or respondent tabs. Please select only the applicant or respondent respectively. There's an option there for case documents, but please use the applicant or respondent so the documents go into the correct tabs. So if I select respondent in this case, and those documents are ready to be uploaded, you can use this event to upload multiple documents. There's no limitation on how many documents you can upload with the one event. And again, one of the main advantages of the portal over sending documents in by email is the size limitation is much higher, so you don't have to send separate documents, separate correspondences with documents attached. You can use the one event to upload as many documents as you need. Once you've uploaded all the documents you require, click Continue. It'll just play back the documents you've uploaded, so you can double check there, make sure you've had the correct hearing dates or the correct document type. If you need to change any of those information at that stage, you can do so by clicking the change option there. Otherwise, click Submit. Once you've submitted, those documents will now appear in the respondent documents. As I said before, once you've exchanged documents with the other side and you wish to now share those documents that are on the portal with the other side, you'd select from the drop-down list, Share Documents with the applicant, select Go. You then just be asked if you're sure you want to share the documents, say yes, continue, and submit. Once you do that, all documents that are in your tab will be shared with the other side. Any documents marked as confidential will not be shared with the other side. If you've uploaded a document and you've marked it as confidential and it doesn't need to, you can contact your local FRC who are able to change those document types for you, and then they can then be shared with the other side. The solicitor is also able to upload copies of the bundle, so you can do that by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles, click Go, select Add New, enter the hearing date, you'll be asked if the hearing relates to financial dispute resolution. Select yes or no. Again, this just highlights when the bundles are uploaded that it relates to a financial dispute resolution. Once you've entered the relevant date there, select Add New to upload your bundle. Click on Choose File to access your documents. Select the relevant bundle from your computer. There's an option that add a description if you wish to, but this is optional. So you can add hearing type if necessary, click Continue and Submit. The bundle will now be showed in a hearing bundle tab. So if we go in there, we can see that the bundle is being displayed there. And that can be viewed by all parties as soon as it's lodged to the portal. If you wish to update the bundle, you can do so again by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles. This will show the information you've already entered. If you have an updated bundle, again, you select choose file, and you can replace the existing bundle with your new updated bundle. Continue, submit. If a bundle has been uploaded to the wrong case or it's the wrong bundle, solicitors now have the ability to remove bundles from the case. Again, only the party who's uploaded the bundle is able to remove the bundle. For example, the respondent solicitor is not able to remove a bundle that's been uploaded by the applicant and vice versa. So again, select Manage Hearing Bundles, click Go. It'll display the bundle that's existing there, select Remove, and the bundle has been removed, so continue and submit. And then if we go back into the hearing bundle tab, we can see that that bundle has been removed from the case. So this just adds an extra layer of security for any confidential documents that might be lodged. Solicitors are also able to create general applications if they wish to make any applications to the court within proceedings, if they wish to adjourn hearings, or request an extension of time, or have any consent orders that do not relate to the conclusion of the case. You can use the general application process. You'd select Create General Application. And if there are any existing general applications on the case, they'll be displayed there. So don't make any updates to the bundles displayed, to the general application displayed there. Instead, click Add New. And then you'll be taken to a fresh tab there where you can enter your details. So select where you are in relation to the case, whether the application is requiring a hearing. If you select yes, you'll be required to enter the time estimate or any special measures required in the case. If not, select no, and then upload copies of your D11 and a copy of your consent order. And if you have any other supporting documents, you can also upload them there. So select Add New under Upload Supporting Documents, choose File, attach the document, click Continue and submit. The general application will then be lodged with the court, and the court will refer that application to the judge, who will then give their directions on that. If you wish to make a consent order, this is also available, but the ability to lodge a consent order is only available to the applicant solicitor. Respondent solicitors do not have the facility to lodge consent orders in contested proceedings.
I think that's the end of the video. So we'll take a few more questions that have come through. Thank you to everybody who's been writing in. We will start with how, let's see, is it possible to delete a document once it's been uploaded, for example, if it needs to be amended?
I can answer that. Yeah, so staff have the ability to delete documents as necessary if something's been uploaded incorrectly or needs to be deleted off the case. So it would need to be requested
Brilliant, thank
from
you.
court staff. But yes, it's possible.
Someone's asked if it's always necessary to file an allocation questionnaire when making an application.
It is, yes. So we understand there is a slight bit of duplication because some of that information is already contained within the application, but the judges require the allocation questionnaire when they're given their directions on gatekeeping. So yes, you do need to upload a copy of the allocation questionnaire.
Thank you. Another person's written in to say that when they draft a consent order, they would ordinarily use the divorce 16-digit reference number on the document, and when uploading documents, is that the correct procedure?
No, so you want to use the financial remedy case number. So if you're making any applications relating to to the financial proceedings use the financial remedy case number, not the divorce. So the divorce is a completely separate application and proceeding. So always use the financial remedy case numbers.
Thank you, Mark. We've also been asked by someone, if we are instructed by the respondent after proceedings have been issued, how do we get access to the matter on the portal?
So on FR contested, people can be added on after the case has started, and you can should be able to activate notice of change yourself to be able to add yourself access onto the case. Again, we can point towards the guidance in the chat because it's on the online solicitors information there. It's all through MyHMCTS, and you should have the notice of change option at the top. You'll need the 16-digit reference number and the exact name of the party that you're representing to be able to activate that yourself, but it should then give you access to the case. There seems to be a little bit of a theme around access and gaining access to cases and notice of change. So if you have any specific problems, then please do send them through to us on email and we'll investigate those for you. Because you should be able to get access quite easily just by using that notice of change. So yeah, if there's any follow-ups that people haven't been able to activate that properly, or you don't have the right case numbers, perhaps that's sometimes been the problem. Also, if you've been added via the portal by admin, you'll need to get your CAA, the case access administrator within your firm, to check their unallocated case list and share that case with you. To give you access. So there's sometimes a bit of confusion around that. Always make sure you contact your CAA to make sure that they've allocated the case within the firm. But having done all that, if you still have problems, reach out to us and we'll investigate for you.
We're going to take one more question before we head over to the final video. Can the D11 fee be shared?
So the fees taken is taken offline. So the D11 fees, and you're not able to pay that on the portal at the moment. So that's done offline. So it still follows the same old process you would have done previously with family mind cases. So that it depends on how the parties are making that payment. They can then agree between themselves how and if they wish to split that cost. But yeah, that's not accommodated on the portal at the moment. So that's an offline process.
Thanks, Mark. I can see that Thomas Palmer, you've got your hand up. I'm just wondering if you would be really kind and pop a question or your comment in the Q&A function at the top of the page. That would be really kind, and then we'll make sure we pick that up. Thank you so much. I just don't want you to miss out getting your question answered. Aaron, can we move over to the next video, please?
If the parties reach an agreement and are happy for the proceedings to be finalized, they can lodge a consent order to be signed off by the judge. This can be uploaded to the portal at any point in the proceedings. So to do this, select from the next steps drop down, select the consent order option. This option is only available to the applicant solicitors. Respondent solicitors are not able to file a consent order on the portal. This will have to be done by the applicant solicitors. So select consent order from the portal, click go. We currently do not have an option for clean break, so you can select any option from the drop-down list there. It won't affect the finalized consent order. Upload a copy of your consent order. Click continue, and then upload copies of your D81. If you're uploading a joint D81, select yes, and you can upload a single copy. If you're uploading separate D81s, you can then select no, and then upload a copy for each individual party. So if we select one copy there, joint copy for both parties, click continue. If you have any other documents that you wish to lodge, you can upload them at this point. So any supporting documents. Any pension documents can also be lodged at that point. Click continue. You'll be displayed information there about which court you've been assigned to. So you have details of contact details there for that court. Click continue. And then the final page there will just display your responses, information you've entered back to you. So check that carefully before you continue. If you're happy with all the information displayed there, click submit to finalize your application. That application will then be referred to the judge. Once the judge has approved the application, you'll be sent notification notifying you that the application has been approved. If the judge does not approve the application, you'll be sent an order, a general order highlighting why, and then you can make the necessary amendments. Once the amendments have been made, you will have an option to respond to consent order, or if you click on the consent order option again, it'll take you through the existing application, and then you can make any necessary changes as directed by the judge at that point. So if you need to upload new D81s or amended consent orders, you can do so, and then finalize the application as you would have done previously. The new application will then be referred to the judge for their consideration. And again, once the judge approves that application, you'll be sent the approved notification, which you can access from the portal.
Right, I think that's all of the videos now shown. I really hope everybody's found those really useful. And as Jess mentioned, we'll make sure that those are loaded up to our YouTube channel in due course. And we'll also we share the guidance on submitting and managing applications. We're going to finish off answering as many questions as we can with the time we have about 10-15 minutes left. So let's see what's come through. I think one for Isabel. What happens if an applicant changes from represented to a litigant in person and asks you as the solicitor remaining to upload the, I'm not sure what this stands for, FRCO, financial remedy consent order, maybe, but we represent the respondent. Is this possible, or should they be doing it?
So if there's a change from being represented, so registered on the portal, and then you go to unrepresented, that litigant in person won't have access to the portal. They would have to send any documents in by email, and then the caseworker at the FRC or local court would upload it onto the portal. So they could either do that, or the respondent solicitor who may have access to the case, who may be registered, they could also upload the order on their behalf too.
Thanks, Izzy. We have a scenario from someone who's dialed in saying, I submitted my contested Form A, but my local court refused to issue without an allocation questionnaire, even though the information is included within the online submission. Are both necessary?
Yes, unfortunately, as I said before, there is a slight bit of duplication between the information contained in the allocation questionnaire and the information solicitors provide when creating the case. But yes, the allocation questionnaire is required. That's used by the gatekeeping judge to give the necessary gatekeeping directions. So yes, it is still required.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Someone's asked, is there a way of flagging an application as urgent, for example, a jurisdiction needing to be secured?
So currently,
no, there isn't, but the work is in progress. So we are going to be adding that flag shortly. So that will definitely be there before we mandate the service.
Thanks, Izzy. Here's another one. Can you use the portal to lodge agreements by consent in relation to FDA directions to avoid the cost of the hearing, in brackets, provided the court agree? And if so, how, as it's a consent order fee rather than an application fee? The questioner then goes on to say, how long does it take to be considered, because those are sometimes submitted at short notice?
Yeah, I'll take that. So previously you're only able to lodge orders within a particular state. So when the case moves into ready for hearing, you should now be able to lodge the application when the case is in prepare for hearing. So before the court have moved that case into the ready for hearing state, you now have the option to upload your draft order into that into the court for the judge's approval. We're working on updating the directions around the agreed FDA, the agreed orders process. We'll be coming back to with more clarification around that process, but that option is available now in prepare for hearing to upload a copy of the order.
Thanks, Mark. I've had someone write in to say they've had a number of cases which have been allocated to their firm by HMCTS, but on checking their list of unassigned cases, it's not visible. So what they're asking is, how do they gain access to those cases? And will barristers also be able to gain access to the same case as a solicitor, or will they have to have their own separate case?
I'll answer these kind of separately. So if you've been added to a case and you still can't see the case, and it's definitely not in your CAA list, then please do reach out to us so we can investigate what the scenario is. It may be that your firm just hasn't been added correctly, but yeah, we'll investigate that for you if it's not displaying for you. As to barrister access, they'll have access given by a solicitor, or they'll be able to get access by admin staff adding them to a case as well. So they will have the same access to a case as the solicitor once the solicitor's added that access. So they'll be able to see the same case as you. It's not a different portal, it's the same case. And they'll have the kind of same functionality to be able to upload whatever they needed to if they were taking control of the case.
Thanks, Jess. Someone said, what's the fee, please, for the D11?
So if you're lodging a D11 at the same time as you're issuing the Form A, so the fee is already offset by the Form A. So if you're lodging a Form A and lodging a D11 for your maintenance pending so application, you don't need to make a separate application for your maintenance pending, so that is covered within that Form A application. If you're making a D11 once the Form A has already been issued, if it requires a hearing, I think the fee is the correction is 165 or £53 if it's by consent. It doesn't require a hearing.
Awesome, thanks, Mark. We've had some feedback from another person called Mark that I just wanted to highlight. They've said they had an application rejected and unclear initially as to why, and it turns out that they had amended the pre-filled your reference after choosing organisation, and the Mark had been advised that this had to be left alone as this was the HMCTS reference, and that actually his firm's reference needed to go down on the page. And basically he's saying, if this remains the case, can we change the format so that HMCTS references are not accessible in the first place? So Mark, just to let you know, I've passed that on, and we will look to take that forward. So that's really, really helpful feedback. Thank you. We have had a question around how long are courts taking to deal with financial remedy applications, and how quickly are consent orders being dealt with. Izzy, I wonder if you could give us a bit of an update on that, please.
So financial remedy consent orders, that's on the financial remedy consent order portal, so not the contested one, the consent order portal. It's important to make that difference, really. They are on average being dealt with in around 3 to 4 weeks. They are done by FRC area, so some FRC areas are quicker than others, but that's roughly the average time, and that's been like that for a number of months now. in regards to the FRCs in dealing with contested applications, it does vary across the regions, but broadly it is within 2 weeks.
Thanks, Izzy. Someone's written in to ask, is it correct that now to issue maintenance pending suits, you can't just tick this on the Form A anymore, but that you must also make an individual application for MPS in the North East? And would the client therefore need to pay two fees, sorry?
So yes, that's correct. You need to lodge a D11 with the application. We find that in most cases, the maintenance pending suit application is ticked, but isn't actually required. So it causes a lot of wasted time for the courts and delays in processing the application with the court, requesting further information from the solicitors who, in majority of cases, don't actually require that application. So I think the practice direction does actually state that an application is required for maintenance pending suit. But because if it's been made at the same time that the Form A is issued, the fee for that application is already covered within the Form A, so you don't have to make a separate payment for the D11. That's already covered within the Form A. But yes, if you are making a maintenance pending suit application, you have to lodge a D11 with it, but no additional payment is required.
Thanks, Mark. We've had a question around, if you have a certificate of suitability in order to appoint a litigation friend, how is this dealt with on the portal? This person had filled in a Form A recently and it wasn't dealt with, so they're just wondering what is the process for them?
So you still fill in the application as normal, but I'm not sure that the litigation friend is accommodated for on the portal. That's something we can look into, make sure that that's added on. At the moment, we only have the two-party option. You've got an applicant and a respondent, and you can have a solicitor acting, and we'll soon have a barrister as well. We don't have any further option for another party on the portal at the moment, so that might be the reason why that wasn't actioned in that sense. What will normally happen is that case will probably have to be taken off the portal and progressed separately to ensure that those additional parties are included within the proceedings.
Thanks, Mark. So we've had a question around where can you find the allocation questionnaire? Is that on the HMCTS website? Is that something we can post a link to in the chat separately? Would that be of help to the questionnaire?
Yes, we can post a link to it. I think it is online, so we can post a link to the questionnaire.
Thank you. So let's see what we got. When a general application has been shared via the portal and approved, the system sometimes says general application outcome approved. However, this writer says they often can't see a copy of the approved order and wonders how long does it take for a copy of the approved order to appear?
So what's happening there is the judges given their response, which shows as a state change on the portal as that it's been approved, but it hasn't yet been finalised by the admin staff. So that's what the difference is there in the delay as such. So as soon as it's been processed by admin, that's when it would appear on the portal. So it would be dependent on the different courts as to how up to date they are with the workload, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be too long before it would appear. But that's what's happening. That's the technical change, the state change in the back end. So you're not missing anything. It's just that the judge has given the decision and it's just not been resulted as yet.
Well, thanks, Jess. Someone's asked, should contact details for parties for hearings be submitted via the portal? If so, is there an upload option for that?
Tricky one. I'm not entirely sure. You can upload it as a using the upload documents with the with the documents with information enclosed. But obviously, if any of those information is to be kept confidential from the other party, you can mark it as confidential. But there is an option to upload. You can upload it as a document to the portal, and just mark it as confidential if it needs to be hidden from the other side. Alternatively, it can be emailed directly to the court, because they might email you directly requesting that information. So if they do, so they can just reply to them and provide that information that way.
Thanks, Mark. We're starting to come towards the end of our time, so we're just going to answer one or two more questions now. This one is, as enforcement applications have to be sent directly to the court, and we can't yet do that on the portal, which court should enforcement applications be sent to if the consent order was made on the portal? I hope that makes sense. I hope I've expressed that clearly.
Yes, so the enforcement application should be going to the applicant's local court. So the consent orders have been dealt with on the portal, but the application will need to go to the applicant's local court, and you can use Court Finder to find the relevant court or FRC.
Thanks, Mark. So I'm going to round off with a sort of more general comment, which is that a couple of people have written with things like they've tried to do file a notice of change, but it's saying the portal saying there's a problem, that kind of thing. We're going to post an email address to the financial remedy team's inbox. So if you've written a question that's kind of along the lines of I'm encountering X error or this issue, or have examples of things that haven't kind of gone the way you'd expect, if you could maybe submit those directly to that inbox, we'll come back to you. I think that kind of draws us to a close, but I'd just like to remind you that the session's been recorded and we will post it up online, and I suspect we will be asking for feedback, so we'd really welcome any feedback on whether you found this session useful. We'll be running a similar one again in November, so if you feel colleagues would benefit from this, please do let them know. They can sign up on Eventbrite. But I think other than that, we will start to bring the session to a close. Izzy, any final comments, please?
Thanks very much, Kim, and thanks everyone for taking the time to ask the questions, and thanks to Mark and Jess for supporting with the answers. Like Kim says, we'll share the FR inbox, so we will be really interested to get any feedback on any issues that you might be facing, but we'll take all the questions and answers and look at how we can improve the guidance as well, to cover any of the questions that are being asked. So it's really important, doesn't matter how simple the question is, that we really get your feedback. And we've got another session coming up on the 24th of November, so we'll hopefully we might see some of you then. But thank you. I'll pass back to Kim.
Okay, I think we will share the inbox in a separate email after this session's closed, but I think we will wrap up there and wish everyone a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.